Life Sciences with Jyotishri. So in this module we will be learning about uh, the different experiments which proves that DNA acts as a genetic information carrier from one generation to another generation. So in the previous sessions we have discussed about the structure of DNA and the structure of RNA, and as well as we have discussed about central dogma. Now in this present module we will be discussing about the three different experiments which proves that DNA acts as a genetic information carrier from one generation to another generation. So we have already learned that chromosomes mainly consist of nucleoproteins having two components, nucleic acids and as well as proteins. One of these should obviously constitute the genetic information material. So several experiments have been demonstrated that only nucleic acid acts as a genetic information carrier, that is your DNA and as well as your RNA, but not your proteins. So genetic material should have all these criteria, that a replication, it should take a replication, make it a copy, and storage of information for its for expression of trait, and as well as control of expression of traits. Next, change in control way which undergoes mutation. So this mutation may be natural, that is maybe spontaneous, or it may be due to environmental conditions, or maybe due to interference of radiation, and the genetic material must be stable. So now let us discuss the three different experiments. So Frederick Griffith in the year 1928 has an experiment proof that on a bacterial transformation, and as well as McCarty and MacLeod and Avery and McCarthy in the year 1944 regarding transformation experiment, and Alfred Hershey and Chase in the year 1952 has experimental proof on bacteriophages. So let us discuss about the transformation experiment which was demonstrated by Frederick Griffith in the year 1928. He has taken Diplococcus pneumonia, which is having two strains, that is S3 strain and as well as R2 strain. So S3 strain is virulent strain and R2 strain is a virulent strain. So S3 strain causes pneumonia because and R2 strain doesn't cause any pneumonia. Why S3 is known as smooth strain? Because S means smooth. S3 strain is termed as smooth strain because of presence of capsule around that strain, though that capsule is a lipopolysaccharide capsule, and because of presence of that particular lipopolysaccharide capsule, so antibodies raised against to that particular S3 strain cannot defeat the S3 strain. Okay, so whenever S3 strain is injected into a host organism, then the antibodies raised against the S3 strain cannot defeat the strain. Why? Because of the presence of the capsule, and hence S3 strain can easily get infects your host organism, and the host organism can isolate in the blood of the host organism. We can get the pneumonial strains. The same thing with your R2. When R2 is a rough strain, and so absence of capsule is present, and hence rough strain. And whenever this R2 strain is injected into the host organism, so and the immunological activity that is produced against this particular R2 strain can easily defeat this R2 strain. Okay, so then the R2 strain cannot induce any pneumonial symptoms on the host organism because of absence of lipopolysaccharide capsule. Okay, so so coming to the experimental proof, Griffith has taken mice, and he has injected this S3 virulent strain. Then he has observed that the mice died due to pneumonia, as this S3 strain causes pneumonia. And in the second case, he has injected live R2 strain into the mice. Then the mice survived, and there are no pneumonial strains are obtained from the mice. And in the third case, Griffith has injected heat killed S3 strain. So this S3 strain, when it is exposed to high temperature, then the disease causing activity, the pathogenicity of the S3 strain is lost due to high temperature, and hence the mice survived due to survived, and the mice they have not isolated any pneumonial strains from S3 from your mice. Now, in the fourth case, Griffith has taken heat killed S3 strain and as well as R2 strain. Okay, he has injected the mice with a mixture of R2 live strain and S3 heat kill strain. Then the mice died due to pneumonia, and S3 virulent strain can be isolated from the mice. So, here what happened, bacteria isolated these bacteria has been isolated from the dead mice were found, and here a mixture of capsulated S3 strain and non-capsulated R2 strain are obtained. Griffith concluded that the heat-killed S3 bacteria has caused a transformation of some R2 bacteria into virulent S3 bacteria. So this was discovered as Griffith effect and bacterial transformation. So the extended experiment, so these are the results obtained from the 4 cases. Now this experiment has been extended in the 5th case and as well as in the 6th case. You can see that the mouse, when it is injected with heat killed S3 strain and R2 strain and as well as DNase enzyme. So DNase enzyme is enzyme which cleaves your DNA molecule. So when the mixture of heat killed S3 and R2 and DNase enzyme is injected, then the DNase enzyme will go and cleave your DNA molecules, that is the disease causing DNA molecules present in the S3, so that is being transformed into the R2 strains, hence the mouse survived because there is no disease causing genes are present. Now, when the mouse, in the 6th case, mouse injected with the heat killed S3 strain, living R2 strain, and as well as protease enzyme. Protease enzyme acts on protein molecules. So it doesn't show any effect on DNA. Okay. So what happened? So the mouse died due to pneumonia because DNA is totally active, the genes that causing pneumonia is totally active, and the mouse died due to pneumonia. So these are the 6 different cases, and in the last case, and then the 5th and the 6th case, there is a we can conclude that that only your DNA which is having your disease causing genes are present on your DNA molecule, not on your proteins, and hence the DNase activity showed on your DNA molecule disease causing genes, and hence in the 5th case the mouse survived, and in the 6th case due to the addition of protease enzyme the mice died due to pneumonia. So on this basis, the result of the step 4, Griffith concluded that there was a transformation of a virulent R2 type to virulent S3 type by picking up the genetic material encoding the LPS capsule from the heat-killed S3 strain. Now, this bacterial transformation clearly shows that the role of DNA as a genetic material and is further confirmed by the results of step 5, which shows no transformation as DNase digests DNA molecule, and step 6 again shows transformation as protease only digest protein molecules. Okay, so this is the conclusion of Griffith's experiment. So in the next module, we will be learning about the remaining 2 experiments, that is conjugation and as well as transduction experiments, which proves that DNA acts as a genetic information carrier from one generation to another generation, but not your protein molecules. Thank you.